final book tag of the year. Hello and welcome to my channel, The Danish Readaholic. My name is Silke and today I'm bringing you a book tag. This is the Winter Essentials book tag and I was tagged by Jem over at Bookish Gems. I'm gonna leave her video down below and the original creator if I can find them. I think without further ado we should get started. The first prompt is Crackling Fire, and that is, who is a cold character that you warmed up to towards the end, or that you warmed up to. For this I've actually gone for Red Riding Hood. I did not like her in the beginning, but she ended up being like one of my favorite people, like one of my favorite characters in the series. So I feel like I had to go with Red because she is just a bitch, but then we kind of learn that she actually does have a really warm heart, like later on in the series. So she is definitely a cold character in the beginning that I would just like to get bitch slapped, but then she ends up being one of my favorites. Next up we have Snowflakes, and that is a book full of unique characters. I would have also picked Line of Stories for this, but there is one more prompt later on that I feel like Line of Stories is also perfect for. So I'm gonna pick something else because otherwise it's gonna be a Line of Stories the entire way through. I've gone for City of Nightmares by Rebecca Schaeffer. I could have picked a lot of things. I could have also gone with Graceling, but the reason that I picked this is because I feel like, yes, this is like a typical fantasy, but the characters are very different, and I like the main character, and I feel like she's different from our main female protagonist in many other fantasies, and also our main male protagonist. He's also very different. The side characters are super cool, and the villains and everything. I feel like this is different, and I like it a lot. So that is why I'm going for City of Nightmares for a unique cast of characters. Then we have Gingerbread Family, and that is, which fictional family would you like to be a part of? Are we even surprised? Like, their grandmother is the fairy godmother, for God's sake. And also just the mother is phenomenal. The stepdad is phenomenal. They're phenomenal. I want to be a part of this family so badly. Like, I want to be a Bailey. I want to. Next up we have Blizzard, and that is, what is the book that had you confused the entire time? I don't have it physically because I don't like it, but when I was in school I had to read Kafka on the Shore. I was confused. I still don't know what that book is about. I read it. Like, I did have a tendency to not read every single book back when I was in school, but this one I actually did read, and I was so confused and I didn't see the point. So that has to be my answer. Next up we have Gift Giving, and that is, what is the last book that was gifted to you? And I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that it was this. The Shadow Between Us by Trisha Levenseller. I believe that this was a delayed Christmas present from, no, what am I talking about? It's because it's Christmas. A delayed birthday present from Caitlin, because she knows that I really like some of Trisha Levenseller's books and I need to get on with reading them. And also I want to collect these new paperbacks because they're stunning, and I like the fact that all of them match despite not being in the same series. This book I haven't actually read, and I don't really know what it's about, but it's like, I want to read all of her books, so here we are. Next up we have Snowball. What is the biggest book you've ever read? Anna Karenina. I didn't like that either. I gave it 2 stars. The Danish book that I have is 900 something pages. I do have the Barnes & Noble collectible leather bound one as well. That's only 800 something pages, but yeah, around that. It's a big book. It's not for me. But that is the biggest book that I've ever read. Aside from that, I think I read The Host, which is 700 something pages. The Danish one is, at least. So that would be probably the second biggest book that I've ever read. Just bonus info. Next up we have Wrapping Paper. What is the most beat up book you own? Probably this. The spine is gone. I'm afraid to open it. All the pages are yellow. It's a really, really old book. This was released in... Oh, is that water damage? Looks like it. This was released when? 1949. It's one that I've gotten from my grandmother that I'm just kind of collecting, and I will read this at some point, but I will be super careful in doing it because I don't want this to break. Next up we have Christmas Lights, a book with a lot of colors on it. I might have some that are more colorful, but this will just forever be one of my all-time favorite covers because of all the colors and because of like the style of it. I just find it so beautiful, so I feel like I wanted to pick this all because we have all the blues, we have some yellows, we have some reds, some pinks, some purples. So I do feel like we have a lot of different colors on here, and it's just so beautiful. I really need to get on with reading this book soon because I haven't yet. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna love it. I just need to get on with it, honestly. Next up we have Ice Skating, and that is a book with a plot that kind of went all over the place. This, to me, is not meant as a bad thing to be all over the place. Especially not when I picked this book. I haven't talked about it because it's going to be in my wrap-up. But this book, I felt like it did something different with the fantasy genre, because normally we have like a problem that needs to be solved, and that's what the entire book is about. In this, we kind of follow a journey where there's a lot of smaller problems that need to be solved, and then at the end, it's revealed that it was part of a bigger scheme. And that is what I feel like Daughter of the Moon Goddess does, and that is why I decided to go for this book for this prompt, because I do feel like the plot was a little bit all over the place, but in the end, it all makes sense. So yes, I felt like this was like so fitting for this prompt, so I had to pick it. I had to. Next up we have Christmas Tree, and that is my favorite character of all time, and yes, I could only pick one. This was super difficult because I do have a bunch of like all-time favorites. I also have a bunch of like new favorites that are gonna be all-time favorites, but I just could not pick anything or anyone else. I had to go for Fire. Fire will always be one of my favorite characters. I love reading about her, and I love her mindset. I love how compassionate she is and how much she considers other people, and how guarded she is because she doesn't want to hurt other people. I really like that. I also think she's a badass, and yeah, I wish that we saw a little bit more of Fire. The final prompt is The Star, and that is a book that I look forward to reading every single year. I haven't read it this year yet, but maybe I will if I have time this month. I probably will. Ooh, yes, I will. And that's Coraline by Neil Gaiman. I actually haven't read this edition, so maybe I should. But that is definitely a book, or at least a story, I look forward to experiencing every single year, whether it's in movie form or in book form. I will at least do one of them every single year. I have watched the movie, I think, 5 times this year. I haven't read the book yet this year, but I could, because it's not that long, and you know what? I still have a Goodreads goal to reach, so maybe I should add this to my TBR. Should she? She should. So, but this is definitely a book that I will religiously reread every single year, or try to at least. Re-experience the story every single year. In one way or the other. I will not be tagging anyone for this because Jem tagged me last year, so I was behind on this, so I'm not tagging anybody. If you want to do this, consider yourself tagged, as always. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a comment telling me which book you look forward to reading every single year. If you just want to let me know that you're here but don't want to comment, you can always leave a green heart. If you like this video, please hit the like icon, and if you want to see more of my bookish content, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. And until I see you next time, bye!